Hey, good afternoon. Can anyone hear me?
Yes, sir.
Good.
Yes.
So thank you for joining this afternoon's webinar. We have prepared this webinar for our RSID program. 4 programs we have for these sessions. So a brief description is this is a brand new data collection platform that we have developed in Salesforce platform. So we will be opening the performance reporting on September 1st for 4 different programs. And I don't see Aaron, Anna, any of your program coordinator here except Diana. I'm not sure Diana would like to chime in for say a few words about the upcoming reporting submission sessions. That's about it. Diana, do you want to say something? I guess it's not. Okay, back to you, Sawyer.
No problem. Thank you, Alex. Welcome everyone to the HRSA Data Collection Platform webinar for the rcorp-mat-access 2, CABH, OR, and the Mass Access Cohort 2 grantees. Like Alex said, my name is Sawyer, and I'm going to be your facilitator today. And I also have some members of our project team on here as well to help with your questions. Today, I'll walk you through the new system, the HRSA Data Collection Platform. And for some, completing the performance report may be brand new. And for others who have had grants previously, this new system is replacing the old EHB's PIMS, where you previously completed your reports. So we'll walk through a few screenshots of the system and provide live demos throughout. And please note that as we go through, we have test data in here that may look different than what you're going to see. And when you log into your account, you will only see the program and grant that you are associated with. And please just keep in mind that this is a test environment. So if the system's moving a little slow today, please just bear with me. Throughout the presentation, if you do have any questions, go ahead and throw them in the chat box and we'll do our best to get through all of them during the presentation. And then at the end, we'll go over any that have gone unanswered. So just to go over our agenda for today, first, we'll go over a quick overview of the change and who is affected. Then we'll look at how to access the new HRSA data collection platform and navigate the homepage. Next, and probably the most important, how to complete and submit your performance report. Then we'll go over how to view the approval history and your approved reports. Next, how to respond to change requests from HRSA. And finally, how to access your grantee raw data report. So with that, let's start out with an overview of the transition. So let's look at a little background here. As of September 1st of this year, any performance reports are created for the rcorp-mat-access 2, CABH, OR program grantees will be created and submitted in the new HRSA platform. This new system has an updated look and feel and is easier to navigate and to give you a better experience while completing and submitting your performance reports than the previous system. And just as a reminder for you, this only applies to performance reports created on or after the reporting period of September 1st through August 31st of 2024. All right, let's go ahead and get started and look at how to access the system and navigate through the homepage. So starting on September 1st, use the link to the new HRSA data collection platform. When your performance report is set up, you'll receive an email with the link to the system. While this is not part of the HRSA EHBs, the systems are connected, so you will still use your EHB's login.gov email and password to complete the 2-factor authentication to access the system. If you do not have a login.gov account for the EHBs yet, please go ahead and create that. There are some HRSA wiki pages to help walk you through that process, which are going to be linked in these slides. So on the homepage, you will find your username at the top right side of the page. And once you click on your username, you'll also see a logout option. You can select the RSID performance reports to access your reports from the top toolbar or the widget at the bottom of the page. You can select data extracts to access your grantee raw data report from the top toolbar or from the widget at the bottom of the page. And the same process, you can select help to view the help page from the top navigation bar or from the wiki at the bottom of the page. Finally, the middle section of the page contains background on the purpose of the performance report. So now that you know how to access and navigate through the system, let's look at how to complete and submit your performance report. On the performance report page, you can select different list views to find report types in different statuses. The page defaults to recently viewed, but click the arrow to select a different list view. And you can also select a different view as a default using the pen. The approved reports list view displays reports that HRSA project officer has approved and are in approved status. The change requested reports list view displays reports the HRSA PO has returned for updates. They are in change requested status and must be updated and resubmitted. The in progress reports list view displays reports that have not yet been started or are in progress and have not yet been submitted. These are in the not started or in progress status. Recently viewed list view displays reports that you have recently accessed. And finally, the submitted list view displays reports that have been submitted to HRSA for review, if not been approved or change requested. So after selecting an RSID performance report from the top navigation bar or the widget at the bottom of the homepage, you will see the performance report assigned to you. The list displays the tracking ID, submission status, if applicable, the submission name, the grant number, your program name, the reporting period, and the status. To get started, you want to select the tracking ID number to open the performance report. So after opening report, you can view the tracking ID details about the grant and performance report, including the submitted date and the review status. In the grantee data entry section, you can see the status for each form, either not started, in progress, or complete. And take note that this is different than the status for the performance report as a whole. You can select the view option to open a read-only view of the form, or you can select start if the form is not in started status, or edit if the form is in progress status to work on that report. You have the option to select generate PDF to view a PDF version of the entire report. And then at the top of the page, when the report is ready, there will be a submit for approval option, which is only available once all the forms are complete and present. Once submitted, you can track the approval history at the bottom of the page. And this is very important, but before you can submit the performance report for approval, you must complete all of the forms. So after clicking start or edit to work on a form, the first page is going to be the public burden statement. Review the statement and click next to continue to the data entry fields. Throughout the forms, you can track your progress from the right side of the page with the steps. These will turn green as you complete each step of the form. As you work through the form, be sure to complete all the required fields, which will be indicated with an asterisk. You can compare data to the previous reporting period, if applicable. But please note, if this is your first time entering data, the previous reporting period will simply be grayed out. There will be no data in there. And if an incorrect data type is entered, a required field is left blank, or dependent fields do not match, you will receive an error message to correct that data. Some fields become required based on what you enter in dependent fields. And if you enter data in the value field, the corresponding specify field becomes required. At the bottom of the form, add any comments needed for the HRSA PO or attach any files that you need. These are both optional fields, and take note that the comments and attachments show on each step of the form. After completing the data on the step, select Next at the bottom of the page to A, save your data, and B, go to the next step. And this is a very important note that the Next button is how you save the data on the page. If you click Previous or Back to Main Page before clicking Next, your data won't be saved. So this is really important that if you go through the process of submitting or entering data on your form, select Next, or you will have done all of that for nothing. Once all of your required data is entered on the form status updates to complete. Once you complete all the forms and then you're ready to submit the report for the HRSA review, click Submit for Review at the top right of the page to submit that report. Enter optional comments in the Submit for Review pop-up window, and then select Submit. Then your report updates to submitted status and moves to the Submitted Reports list view on the main page. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at how to check on the approval status for your report. After submitting your report, you can track the progress through the approval history section. As the HRSA PO makes decisions, you can see if it was approved or if any changes were requested. You can also see all comments added when the report was submitted, approved, or change requested. If you want to see the full comments, on the right side of your screen, select the down arrow to expand. Once approved by HRSA, the performance report status updates to approved and is listed under the approved reports list view. So now what happens if HRSA does request updates to the report while reviewing? Let's go ahead and take a look. If HRSA sends back the reports for updates, you will receive an email notification with the comments that the PO added about the requested change. The performance report status moves to change requested, and you can find the report on the change requested reports list view. Select the tracking ID number to open the report and make the necessary changes that are requested. When you open the performance report, in the approval history section, you can see the comments that the HRSA PO added to the requested changes. On the right side of the page, once again, click the arrow to view the full comments if they are too long to read. Then open your performance report, make the changes, and be sure to resubmit. The edit button will be available after changes are requested. So let's go ahead and jump into our first demonstration. While I'm getting set up, if you have any questions, please take this moment to put them into the chat pod. Everyone should be seeing my screen now. So welcome to the HRSA homepage. We'll just walk through the navigation before we get started on our RSID performance reports. So as stated before, you will find your full name on the top right of the screen. If you select the arrow beside, you have the option at any point to return back to this homepage or log out. Looking at the top navigation bar, you have your home icon, and if at any point you wish to return to this homepage, simply select this button. Beside it on the right, you see the RSID performance report link. the data extracts link, and followed by the help page. In the middle, as previously stated, you have all the important information about the performance reports. And finding your way down to the bottom of the screen, you have the adjacent widgets for the top navigation bar. You can select the RSID performance reports widget, the data extracts widget, or the help widget to go to any point in the system. So with that, let's go ahead and select the RSID performance report widget to get started. So here we find our reports layout page. As I said earlier, you will have the top toolbar of the home button, RSID performance reports, data extracts, and help. And as we scroll down the page, you now get to your reports selections. I have the recently view pinned, so this is what shows up for me. But if you select the downward arrow beside recently viewed, you will see all the report types listed: approved reports, change requested reports, in progress, recently viewed, and submitted. To get started, I'm going to find the report that I'd like to work on. As you can see here, everything is listed. You have your tracking ID number, your submission status column, your submission name, grant number, program name, reporting period, and status. If at any point you know any portion of your report, such as the tracking ID and you don't see it here, there is a search option right here where you can type in any portion of your report and then select search to find it. So I'm going to find the tracking ID number that I would like to work on under your tracking ID column and select that on the left portion of the screen. And now I find myself on my performance report page. This is the Balloons Biz Volunteering Emergency Squad. And then as you see on the left side of your screen, there is an arrow that you can select. And when you do so, it will expand and show you more information about the grantee. You have the grant number, the grantee name, the review status, the current reporting period, and the report due date. If it has been submitted, the submitted date will be present on the right side of your screen. Flowing down the screen into the grantee data entry section, you see that there are a key to show you different status types on the right side of the screen. You have not started, in progress, and complete. And then you have all of your different forms that are going to need to be completed to submit. For time's sake, I went ahead and did a few of these, but I will show you how to complete one of these forms in a moment. As you continue down the screen, you will find the Generate PDF button. If you select this, you will receive a pop-up showing a preview. And then when the PDF is ready, you will see the Download PDF button is currently formatted and colored. Once you're ready, you can select that from the right side, and then it will save to your desktop. And then under all of that, you do have the approval history. I don't have anything here as of now because this report has not been approved or had a change requested. So let's go ahead and finish this up. So under Form 4, you see that this is in progress. So on the right part of the screen, I'm going to select Edit to work on this report, on this form. So as you can see, I've already come down through and entered a lot of this data. So you have the 0 marking the current reporting period, as well as the previous reporting period. And you can also tell which fields are required by the asterisk that you will see beside the information. Once you have filled in all of the required information, you will scroll down to the bottom of your screen where you will see the comments, which only allows up to 5,000 characters. And you also have the file attachment section. Please remember that both of these are optional, but if you do choose to attach a file or leave a comment, they will be visible in the approval history. When you've completed all the required fields, remember to select Next. And I'd like to just once again point out that if you do not select Next, none of your data that you have entered will be saved. So this step is extremely important. Selecting next from the bottom right of my screen. And I will move on to my next form. As you can see for this, I have also already filled out the information where all information is required, which is marked by the asterisk. So I'll go down, find the next button at the bottom right of my screen, and select that. And now I'm on the final portion of this form. I will go ahead and enter the information in the first columns, 0, 0, 0, just to make it easy. Looks like that's all I need to do. And then now I'll go down and to save my work, select the next button. And now that I've completed that form, you will see that all of my forms have the green check mark beside them, signifying that they have been completed. Now I'm ready to submit for review. And the Submit for Review button has now been populated on the right side of your screen now that your forms are complete. To submit, I'm going to select the Submit for Review button action. And a Submit for Review comments field is going to pop up. This is optional. You do not need to fill anything out. But once you're completed, you have the option to either cancel your submission or select Submit. I'm going to select Submit. And you will get a success message letting you know that it has been successfully submitted, and you will be taken back to the form. Now, if I go back to the RSID Performance Report homepage by selecting it from the toolbar, you will now see that my RSID 02004 report has been changed to the submitted status. And now an email will be sent that the report has been submitted and everything will be in progress. For change requested, you will see going through here. Okay, so if there was a change requested, there will be a comment in your approval history, which will show you exactly what the HRSA PO needs you to do or edit to once again resubmit. So that's going to take us through this first demo. While I switch back, if anyone has any questions, please go ahead and put them in the comments field now while I'm getting set up. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at your grantee raw data reports. If you recall, from the homepage, you can access your grantee raw data reports by selecting data extracts from the top navigation bar or the widget at the bottom of the homepage. When you get to this page, it will default to the recently viewed, but the first time you open the page, there will be nothing listed. Select all reports on the left menu to view all the reports applicable to your role. Then select the grantee raw data report to open the report, or select Run and Export from the drop-down menu on the right side of your page. So once you've clicked on the report name to run and open the report, use the scroll bar at the bottom of the page to view all the data of the report. Select the grantee organization to view the data organization details. And then you can select the data performance report tracking ID to open the report. And once you do that, you will see your report here. This will show your total records, your total, everything, apologies. It'll show you your data collection start date in the far left column, your data collection end date, the grant number, the grantee organization, the cohort fiscal year, the grantee state, city, and your tracking ID number associated. You also have the option at the top right of your screen to use the export feature. Once you select export to download the report, you can select a formatted report type, and that includes different report headers, groupings, and filter settings. Or for details only, select the format and encoding options, and then select your export. Now let's jump into this demo to show you this situation. As before, if you do have any questions, go ahead and put them in the Q&A pod now. All right, starting on the home page, to get to your reports, select either the data extracts from the top navigation bar or the data extracts from the bottom widget. These are the reports that I have viewed recently, but to see anything associated with yourself, from the left side, select all reports. And here, this will take you to any reports that you are associated with. From here, you can see the report name, the description of the report, what folder it falls under, who it was created by, when it was created, and what's subscribed. You can select the report name to view the report, or on the right side, the drop-down menu, you have the option to run or view or export the report. I'm going to select the report name. And here, as demonstrated, you will see any data associated with your report, all the total records, anything that has to do with this. So on the right side of the screen, you have the export option. I will select that. And that will give me two separate export options. The formatted report, which will go directly into Excel format, or the details only report. You have the option to select multiple different formats and multiple different encodings to download. I'm going to keep it simple and just select the formatted report, which will go to Excel format. And when I'm ready, I will select the export button down at the bottom right of the pop-up. Once I do so, you can see that the grantee raw data report has been downloaded, and I'm free to save it wherever I'd like on my computer. And that's it. Let's go over a few important reminders, and then we'll get to any questions that haven't been answered. First important reminder, and possibly the most important, the data in the forms does not autosave. Be sure to click Next on each page to save your work. The system times out after 15 minutes of inactivity, and you will lose any data that has not been saved in that 15 minutes of inactivity. Any required fields are indicated with an asterisk. After submitting the performance report, you cannot make edits unless the PO request changes. And after the HRSA PO request changes, you must resubmit the report for the PO to review again. We also have some helpful resources available for you. You can find step-by-step guides and fact sheets from the Help tab on the homepage that I showed you earlier. If you have any questions or issues logging into the system, please contact the login.gov customer support team. Or if you have questions related to your performance report, please contact the HRSA customer support team or your HRSA PO. You can also reach out to your PO for any questions about your grant or the data needed for the performance report. So at this point, just give us one moment to see if there are any unanswered questions in the chat, and we'll get to them shortly.
Sawyer, I think the only question in the chat that hasn't been answered so far is for the attachments and comments, do we upload the data workbook? I think that we might need somebody from the program to answer that one for us.
Hi, yes, this is program. No, you do not need to upload the data workbook.
And just for everyone's reference, you can only update doc, docx, XLS, XLSX, XLSW, PDF, text, PowerPoint, JPG, GIF, BMP, zip, and JSON files.
Perfect, thank you so much. If anyone else has any questions that they would like to ask, please go ahead and put them in the chat pod now. And if we don't get to any of your questions now during this period, we will make sure to get to them and send the answers afterwards.
Question on the list of upload file formats. And yes, that is in the system. So if Sawyer, I don't know if you want to go back in to the data extracts, but he can show exactly where you can find the export format options.
Of course. So under the report name, on the right side of your screen, you will have the export button action. Once you select that, a pop-up will appear, which will give you two different export options. Your formatted report, which will automatically go into Excel format, or your details only, where you have the Excel format, XLS, XLSX, and comma delimited .csv. And you also have different encoding options as well.
So we also had an email about what emails are going to be contacted with the system when the system goes live.
I can provide in a response to that one.
Thank you, Kami.
So for each program, your project officer provided us with an updated list of PDs, data coordinators, and any other relevant contacts that would need access to the system. So, so those individuals have been added to the system and will also receive an email once the system is live and ready for submission.
Thanks, Kamil. We have another question that just came through about when the new format is effective. So I think that is in reference to when they can get into the new system. You want to answer that, Sawyer?
That will be September 1st.
Thank you. I also realized I read a question wrong. We've had questions about upload formats, which we addressed, or export formats, which we addressed, as well as upload formats. So I think if Sawyer goes into the upload attachments, I think it lists the file formats there. If not, I did put them in the chat, but I think it's listed in there.
Just bear with me one moment. The system is moving a little slow on me. Once again, you will find the file upload attachments at the bottom of every form screen. So to do so, select Upload Files. It looks like you have different options. Does not list though.
Okay, so we did list the in the chat. I can put it in there again, but we did list the formats to answer your question. Anila, do you have additional information to share?
Yes, so if they upload a wrong format file there, you can show them that information as well, sir. If you have any PPTX, if you can upload that, that's when the system throws an error message and it tells them what are the allowable formats for the upload.
I will see if I have one readily available.
Yeah, that's okay. But I think that information is texted here or in the chat by Jenny. So
Thank you. I'm scattering to find one right now. So thank you for that information in the chat.
And like Anila mentioned, with the error message that pops up, if there are any issues with the data file type, if you'll see an error message next to any of the fields, as Sawyer had mentioned, that pops up if anything isn't correct.
So as Anila instructed, I did try to upload a PPTX, and I did get a red error message that will give me a failed to upload. So it looks like we have answered all the questions that are in the chat. If anyone has anything else, please go ahead and put it in now. But if not, Kamu or Alex, would you like to give any closing statements or thoughts? All right. Well, I think that we're all good to go. Thank you, everyone, so much for your time.
I'm so sorry, Sawyer. I was on mute.
Oh, no problem.
I apologize. I just wanted to remind everyone that the platform will open up on 9/1 and close on 9/30. It is imperative that all grantees do submit your PIMS report on time. We will not accept any type of, overall extensions. Given that does go to Congress and does fund these programs along with future programs. So we really appreciate the time that you are taking to provide us the most accurate information. Thank you.
Perfect. Have a great day, everybody.
Sawyer, I'm going to cut you off real quick. Kamu, we just got another question in that I think is going to be directed for you. So the question was, must this be submitted even if we receive an NCE?
Yes, so you would still submit this data, but the data that you submit would not include your no cost extension period. And I would contact your project officer to confirm the actual reporting period for this PIM submission.
Thank you, Kamu. And we got another question. It was, are the questions in draft now final?
So they're not quite final yet. However, you may proceed as if they are final because we don't anticipate any changes or edits. So the draft PIMS measures that you have received from your project officer or PC, you may deem to be the final measures.
Great questions, everybody. All right, I think, Sawyer, that's all the questions in there right now. I don't know if you want to give another minute, see if anybody has any other lingering questions, but we're caught up on the chat for right now.
Yes, the full recording will be sent out for everyone's viewing. As far as a data dictionary, Kamu, is that directed towards you?
I believe so. I believe, Christina, you are referencing a PIMS data dictionary. If so, yes. So on the rcorp-TA portal, there is a PIMS user guide for each relevant program, and within that document, there is a data dictionary along with information on how to respond to each measure.
Perfect. Thank you, Kamu.
And Sawyer, would you mind showing them where they can find the user guide and FAQs? You may have shown them, but I missed it, where the help tab is if they need that help.
Of course. So from the home page or any page, at the top navigation bar, you have the RSID performance reports and the data extracts. And beside them on the right, there will be a help option. And if you select that, it will be taken you to the help page, as well as a widget at the bottom of the page, which will take you to the same place. Once you select that, you would be taken to the help page where there will be user guides and facts sheets uploaded for your help come the release.
Data reporting requirements. Yes, so you will receive further information from your PO.
All right, I'll give one more minute for questions. I think we are going to be all good for questions. But if you do have any more, please reach out to your POs and anyone that can help. I hope everyone found this very insightful and useful. Hope you have a great rest of your lunch period and a great rest of your day. Thank you so much for joining us.